Hey, Dr. Karen here, and I wanted to take this moment to talk about the 5 spiritual responsibility types. Now, the reason this is important is because a lot of very well-meaning, hardworking, sensitive souls have been dedicating themselves to their own personal healing and perhaps even healing other people. And one of the frustrating things is that some of the people that are in our community have been expressing, oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? I've done all this work and I don't seem to be any better than I was X number of years ago. Like I've studied this and that and got this certification and that certification, and I am so done with not feeling good. So years ago, I had this question when I connected with Source. I'm like, why is it that some people have to seem to know a lot, learn a lot, be more conscious than others in order to get to the same stage of so-called healing, at least physical healing, than someone who might be like sitting on the couch half the day and maybe eating junk food and not terribly conscious, and they do 1 or 2 simple things and all of a sudden their body's healing, right? Like, what is that? So some people have reflected back to me, is it something I'm doing wrong? And I have to say that is the default among a lot of people. They think if they're not getting better or they don't feel better, it's because they're doing something wrong. Or the second most common is that they're missing something. So they're doing like 1,000 things and they did all this stuff and they're like, I'm still missing it. I'm still missing the magic ingredient. And maybe they go out and search for yet another supplement, yet another device, yet another healing modality, so on and so forth, right? And I totally get that. I honor and respect the journey. And I'm here to say that Source gave me some very vital information I want to share with you today around the 5 spirituality responsibility types, or spiritual responsibility types, as I like to say now, healing types for short. So people in the first stage, if you will, of spiritual responsibility, they tend to be newer souls. And my understanding from Source is that they're here to play. They're here to just experience, like Source experiencing itself through this young soul who hasn't really been around the block. Healing seems to be fairly simple for them. They don't have to do much. Maybe exercise, eat well. That's about it. But they don't have a lot of responsibility other than to play and to experience life. To be honest, I don't see a lot of type 1 spiritual responsibility types in my community. Most people in my community have done a lot more work than that. Now, the type 2s have a little bit more responsibility. In other words, in order for them to attain some of their goals, including their healing goals, they actually have to have some discipline and they have to shift something or heal something that they may not be conscious of at the beginning of their journey. But then if they can become conscious of it, it really makes a big difference. And generally speaking, they seem like the type 1s to heal fairly quickly, meaning that their symptoms seem to disappear with very simple things. Perhaps, they quit smoking, or they stop eating ice cream every night, or they stop their addictive behaviors, or maybe they know they need to heal their negative emotions about their childhood trauma, and they go to a therapist and they feel so much better, or maybe they learn EFT and they're good to go, right? And then those of us who have higher spiritual responsibilities and don't know we do, will sometimes look at the type 1s and 2s and go, that is so easy. Like, I could do that with my eyes closed. That is like, maybe it's hard for you, but it's not hard for me. Like, why am I not better? Right? So then we get to the spiritual responsibility type 3, and they're kind of in that middle place where their spiritual responsibility includes, yes, their own healing, like healing of their childhood trauma, their wounds, their emotions. They may be responsible to have healthy habits, right? The body's not going to heal without these healthy habits. They maybe need to research more. They need to understand more things about the human body, or about spirit, mental, whatever. And here's the thing, type 3s actually are also healing on behalf of another. Yes, so type 3s not only have responsibility for self-healing, they tend to have responsibilities for others' healing. And that could be as big as the entire Mother Earth, or it could be their ancestry, or it could be their country of origin. I know several people that I worked with in the past. One woman, like she was responsible for healing Trinidad, another healing China, another healing her family line of women, who were cursed, different kinds of things. And so, yes, they have a higher spiritual responsibility. And so they actually need to learn more. They have to be more responsible. And sometimes doing the easy thing, like, I'm going to stop eating sugar, right, is not enough. And when we get to the higher spiritual responsibility types, it seems on the surface to be even harder, longer to heal. So I'll get back to 3 in a moment. So spiritual healing type, or spiritual responsibility type, as I like to call them now, type 4, not only are they healing from themselves and they're healing for others, these others can be big others. We're talking like the universe, the infiniverse, which is all of creation, all of humanity. Like, they got some pretty big jobs. And that may be part of their soul mission, often it is, or it could be they might proxy for one of those occasionally if they are a soul destiny partner. It gets into quite a bit of detail. However, here's the interesting thing, is type 4s create new blueprints, that have not, let's just say, been here before. So they're really paving the way for us to step into that new reality, love, joy, peace, prosperity for all. And so they are creating new possibilities, just like Roger Bannister was the first recorded man to run the 4-minute mile. And 20 years before that, the doctor said it is humanly impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes, but yet he did. And soon after that, lots of people did. Now you could say, well, they were inspired by him mentally. No, no, no. He set up and created a morphic field of it having been done already. And so people can literally tap into that energetic field of it being a reality. Okay, so the type 4s are responsible for helping us with our new reality, and therefore they need to be that much more conscious. And yeah, they can't get away with stuff as much as the type 1s and 2s, let me tell you. Okay. Now, the type 5s, which is the most recent one to have grown or evolved from the type 4s, the type 5s do everything the type 4s do, plus they are there to hold the field, the frequency, the field, what the resonance of that new reality already been achieved. So not just the positive morphic field of, oh, this is healed, or like Roger Bannister, you can run a 4-minute mile, or these little positive morphic fields. It's kind of a grand, humongous field that they are holding, which is they're anchoring that new reality that we say we desire, and they do too, love, joy, peace, prosperity for all. Now, it is a big job, and I got to tell you, it isn't easy to always been in that place and space of, oh, yeah, I'm a big ball of light in this human flesh suit, and I'm here to shine, right? Like, sometimes life happens, well, that could be car breaks down, that could be taxes, that could be illness, whatever. And so type 5s have the biggest job to do. Now, you might go, well, gee, I just really want to be type 1, right? And you know darn well you're not. Why? How do you know? Well, because healing takes a longer time. You've had to research a lot. You've had to do a lot. And you've learned so much along the way. Likelihood is you are type 3, 4, or 5. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes people want to go back and go, well, I want to be a type 1 or 2. And I'm here to say, sorry, you can't. Because in the universe, infiniverse we're in, we evolve. Source evolves. We evolve. You will not be allowed to, nor is it for your highest and greatest good, to de-evolve. So when people get a little jealous of the type 1s and 2s, and they go, ugh, must be nice, right? Been there, done that. Just remember, you've done easy in the past. You've evolved through that stage. You can't go back. It's like you can't unsee what you've seen. You know what I mean? So instead of resisting our spiritual responsibility, our soul has chosen it. Okay. So instead of resisting it, we can embrace it and go, okay, so sometimes things are tough. Sometimes things are pretty big and overwhelming in this tiny little human form. And what is it that I'm called to do? What is it that I'm called to heal on behalf of myself and others? What am I called to consciousness? And that, is greater love, greater acceptance, greater healing on multiple different levels, not just physical, right? Not just emotional. So that higher spiritual responsibility, that's where some of the work that we do at the Academy of Light Medicine can be super helpful, because a lot of type 3s, 4s, and 5s do need to have extra information. And the TOLPAKAN Healing Method is one of those methods where you can get that information very quickly based on divine muscle testing, connecting with source or aligning with source, and asking the right quality question and activating the specific healing energies you need. So things that would otherwise, seem to grind to a halt in terms of, I don't know what to do next, is very easy to know what to do next when you have these simple yet profound tools. So I'd love for you to, comment below. Let me know what's your best guess if you divine muscle test. You can, of course, muscle test what spiritual responsibility type you are. You probably already know based on the descriptions that I've mentioned here. So I wanted to flesh this out a little bit because people do ask me this a lot. And if you have not already done so, I would love for you to be at my Healing Faster Than the Speed of Light workshop that is coming up. Now, if you miss it, that's okay too, because we also have an evergreen class. It's always great to be live, right? So you can put your comments in there. Regardless, you will receive healing whether you're live or on the recording or replay or the evergreen on demand workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link below this video. It is donation only for the 3-hour workshop. Minimum donation is $11 US. Yes, I said 11, not 111. $11 US. We want everyone to have this information, but we also want people to commit to the time to learn it. Because if you're a spiritual healing type or spiritual responsibility type, 3, 4, or 5, guess what? You need to know more. You need to know more. And sometimes things won't seemingly heal or shift until you have more information. And that's where I can help you. And that's where the Academy of Light Medicine comes in. So I'd love to see you at the Healing Faster Than the Speed of Light workshops, a 3-hour workshop plus Q&A. There's also a gift at the very end as well, a very high value gift. So I'd love to see you at the next one. I'll put the link below. And if you have any additional questions around the spiritual responsibility types, any clarification, what I talked about today, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If it resonated with you, would love for you to hit subscribe and the like button and perhaps share it with someone who's like-minded who would appreciate it. And in the meantime, would love to connect with you in my Light Medicine community. It's absolutely free to join, and it's for sensitive souls who wish to receive love and support and also to share who they really are. It's a safe space for each of us to really shine. So I'll put the link below as well as this week's offerings and freebies, and we will see you there.